This may be one of the biggest lies in the Sebastian Rogers case thus far, by his stepdad, Chris Proudfoot. I had to get all my facts straight before posting this, but after going through the Nancy Grace interview, as well as the interview they did on Smiley's channel, it's clear that their accounts of Sebastian being whacked with a belt is not adding up. Let's start with the Nancy Grace interview. She asked Chris about hitting Sebastian with a belt. He admitted to doing so, and provided extra information about the incident which I've never heard before. Apparently Sebastian got in trouble for lying, so Chris said he is going to get a punishment for that, to which Sebastian replied yes sir. He then gave Sebastian a swat on the bottom with a belt over his clothes. According to Chris, Sebastian lied about something at school because they claim that's where most of his issues lie. Chris said that was the only time he ever hit Sebastian with a belt, and that was more than 3 years ago.
I've got a question for you. I want to find out about Mr. Proudfoot hitting Sebastian with a belt. What happened?
That was actually several years ago, and it
To
was
Mr. Proudfoot, to Mr. Proudfoot, to Mr. Proudfoot.
Yes,
Mr. Proudfoot, what happened?
Oh, I'm sorry. I misunderstood. I thought you were asking me, Katie. Sebastian had gotten in trouble. He got caught lying. And I had asked him, I said, hey, you got to have a punishment for this. He says, yes, sir. And I said, okay. So I gave him a swat with a belt on his buttocks on the outside of his clothes. One swat.
What did he lie about?
Honestly, I don't remember at the time, but it was probably something dealing with school because that's majority where his issues lie.
Did he have other issues at school?
Some behavioral stuff, but nothing too crazy.
What kind of behavioral stuff?
He has a hard time, he's awkwardly socially blending in with students. So it's he's trying to figure out how to do it, but respecting people's space. He gets a little too close. And then kids don't really accept that too much. So it kind of causes an issue. But he'll not stop and he continues on. So then it causes an issue. And instead of being honest about it, he'll lie. Like, no, I didn't. Okay, Sebastian.
We're lying about doing
Was that
what?
the first time? Was that the first time you had ever hit him with a belt?
Yes, ma'am. The one and only time, actually.
When was this?
Years ago, ma'am.
Any idea how many? 3, 10, 1?
It probably at least 3 years ago.
Now, I'm going to show you what a complete lie that is. During the interview with Smiley, Chris admits that CPS had been called on him in 2 states, Tennessee and New Mexico. The Tennessee CPS call was regarding Sebastian. Sebastian went to school one day and told his teacher about what had happened at home. He didn't have a belt on, and Chris took a belt and whacked him. The teachers are mandatory reporters, so they reported it, and CPS paid them a visit that evening, while they were having dinner. He then says a 15-year-old child was not happy about getting in trouble. So many inconsistencies here. Firstly, there wasn't just one time that Sebastian was hit with a belt, and that's coming right out of Chris's mouth. He has already gave 2 different accounts, in different interviews. Secondly, if Sebastian was 15 years old in the one story, then how was he hit just once with a belt over 3 years ago? He was 15 when he went missing. It just doesn't add up. Why all the inconsistencies if they are telling the truth?
I've had CPS called on me in 2 states, New Mexico and Tennessee.
And did that include with Sebastian?
Tennessee was Sebastian, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
In fact, Sebastian here, like I said, I got nothing to hide. So Sebastian went to school one day because we were at the house. He got in trouble. He didn't have a belt on. I was like, where's your belt? And got it. Whack. Got him. So he goes to school and he tells the teacher. They're mandatory reporters. So the teacher reports it.
Mhm.
That afternoon, CPS shows up to the house while we're actually sitting down to eat dinner. Now, mind you, 15-year-old child, he's not real happy because he's in trouble. So he's being punished.